Hello people, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. This is Sorin and today we are back on Tank GG, taking a look at two brand new upcoming, well they're not actually that new, but they're gonna be upcoming tier 9 premiums for sure in World of Tanks. So let's jump right into them. First of all, we have all of them are from Russia, right? Those mechanics have never been added into the game, such as having an auto loader on a premium tank. We have an auto reloader, if I can remember, an IS-3A, but we never had an auto loader, or we do? I don't remember having it, but if you can correct me into the comments. So the Object 752, another Russian heavy tank. Well, it should have good statistics, right? Um, by the looks of it, every tier 9 have average statistics. They are not broken, they are not underpowered. Well, you can argue that they are underpowered, but they are tier 9s. They do have +1 -2 matchmaking, so they can compensate for that. You do have 390 damage, which is a bit low for a tier 9 heavy. Usually, like the Titan that is more of a heavy medium, it has 440. The ST1 has 440. The 279 has, not the 279, the 257 has 440. And yeah, I believe we got the point. The 5A has 490, which is his brother from China. But as this thing is an autoloader, we cannot really complain. Penetration to 48 is really good on its standard round. The shield velocity is not the best at 862. That's actually bad. But once you go into those APCRs, well, you start to get an decent at its best velocity. 988 for APCR, it's really weird, and you're gonna lose a lot of penetration over this. Well, actually, it's not that much. It's over 28 millimeters at 500 meters, but yeah, it's still something. Reloading time, it's 32 seconds. With 4 rounds a minute, 4.6 rounds a minute, 3 it's clip side, so you can deliver 1170 damage in 6.4 seconds, which is alright. I mean, you have the clip reload is the same as your aiming time, so you pretty much wouldn't want to burst those rounds, as you do have a bad dispersion factors, so you better wait like 5 seconds to aim your shell and then click, because you do have a long reload and you cannot use rammer. You can only use vents to improve your rate of fire. So yeah, 0.4, it's overall accuracy. I mean, yeah, it's Russia, it's heavy. You should play it at close range, but once you shout Russia, you are gonna get accurate like Grilla, STRV Grilla kind of accuracy. Jokes aside, you should play this tank at um, close range, and you shouldn't really like hug the red line, as this thing can have some armor. I mean, it does really have really good armor, and talking about the ammo capacity is 30. Well, it's not the best. You can carry all kind of ammunition. Well, you wouldn't carry 80 rounds, even though you can keep one clip for example, fighting one person versus a gorilla or an AV405 to do 1600 maybe damage in like 6 seconds. But yeah, you should not carry 80 at all. Mobility wise, 40 km an hour top speed, decent. 13 point, actually 14 power to weight ratio. It's actually quite decent, but it's actually quite nippy, to be honest. Slapping down a turbo, it should help you get a better top speed, as by the looks of it, it's gonna maintain its top speed even on medium terrains. On soft terrain, it's gonna go up to 28, which is decent. It's not like the slowest of all kind, but the top speed, it is really holding up this tank. What is really nice about this tank though, 8 degrees of gun depression. You do have a lot of gun depression. I believe that is like the most that you get on Russian tanks. I'm not sure if the IS-4 gets it gets 6, no, 6, 7 or 8. I'm not sure which of them it is. As I'm really fan of the IS4, it was one of my first, but after it got buffed, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure if they changed the gun depression. But once we play it, it's really flexible. And this thing with 8 degrees is gonna dominate the ridge line, even though it is a Russian vehicle. Um, Holding factor, the gun elevation, only 12 degrees, which means if tanks are gonna get above you, you can't really elevate the gun. Next, the armor. Usually, Russian tanks have armor, right? 200 in the front, 140 in the side. That is like really, really good. 330 in the turret. Oh my god, it's like tier 10 heavy tank armor, even though this is tier 9. 1750 hit points to go along with it. 47 tons, yeah, it's not the heaviest. Camo, it's heavy. 380 meters of range is really bad. And keep in mind that your commander is your radio man. Actually, the radio man is actually at top of as like commander, so you better take situational awareness instead of the recon skill. Now, taking a look at the model. Um, we can see like this thing is 275, which means you can actually do some ramming versus some mediums and um, some like light tanks, like not so heavy tanks, because usually the tanks is calculated by speed times the impacted armor, which over here is 275, and the part where it's touching the tank. So yeah, you can do some ramming in this vehicle, but once again, I mentioned you have but top speed, and you're not the heaviest. So yeah, you better. Um, Depends on the playstyle, honestly. The lower plate it's 200. It shouldn't make tier 10, tier 8 struggles to penetrate this lower plate. I was looking on the side that it looks like a 279E with like more of a like circle, but it's kind of the same shape as the 279E. But I believe this is how 279 will look like if it had a lower plate. Pretty interesting though. And yeah, the upper plate it's quite solid versus standard versus APCR. It's better, as usually this is how it happens in the World of Tanks. But the turret is staying chubby. 340, 360, 400 over here, and the two weak points do have 180, 190, which is easily penetratable even with tier 7s. Tier 7s that are firing APC are most likely like the IS um, or whatever it has like medium. But yeah, it's not like the hardest thing to penetrate. You do not require that much penetration, but yeah, you have weak points, which makes this tank once again balanced. What I don't like about this is that it has 25 millimeters of actual protection on top, which artillery can do some damage to if like those things are kind of exposed, same as the engine deck. Yeah, if a bishop or actually crusader SP is gonna fire at you, he's gonna land some nice 500 hits on you, and you're gonna be mad. What do you have over there? You have like a boat shape. I mean, look how much you need to over angle to make this thing still ricochet. I mean, even from this side, if people are gonna shoot you under the tracks, it's still gonna ricochet under about this angle over here. But yeah, it's really angled. Plus the 20 meters of side protection is just magnificent. That was all about the object 752. As I mentioned, it has new unique style in World of Tanks. I suppose the auto loader on a heavy tank, on a Russian heavy or a Russian tank overall, you do have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is usually something not specific to the Russian. Imagine having 10 degrees of something like that. It would be game broker. And yeah, it looks quite okay. And talking about the dispersion factors, it is the same as having the VZ114, which was the most recent tier 9 premium with a vertical stabilizer. So yeah, you kind of understand that it does have bad depression, but not depression, dispersion, but it's still like it's not gonna harm everyone. It is once again a Russian tank. You should fight it close range. And another tank, which is once again a really interesting, still from Russia, it is the Object 590. This is a Russian premium medium tank with, as you can take a look over here, an autoloader. But if you look at it, it's 18 seconds to load your first shell. This is a reverse auto reloader. How I know that? Well, if you take a look at this and the IS3A, you can see the IS3A has the first number over here. It's all the longest to load your ammo. The same goes here. You do have the same. But if you look at the Dispersion, the biggest number is over here. It's on the right. I do believe that's the right. Yes, that's right. So yeah, it is a reverse auto loader medium tank. So you have to be empty out to have this magnificent rate of fire and DPM. Um, if you're gonna fire single fire gun or however it's called, like you need to play on the Bisonte, the Progetto, the Standard, the Sorinte, for example, you will have something like 900 to 1000 DPM, which is just embarrassing for a tier 9 premium tank, let alone medium. But the penetration to 25, it's decent. You do have over here, I believe you do have better burst. Yes, you do 1.5 kilometer per second, and the AP are not that shining as usually what you do have on those higher tier premium, not premium, Tech 3 tanks, medium tanks. You do have about 260 on your standard. Actually, no, that's tier 10. I'm talking rubbish. Don't take that into account. But yeah, the penetration is a bit low personally, or it is the same as the object 430, which yes, it is the same as the object 430 because I recently finished with that line. Um, Clip size of 3, 960 in 4.3 seconds ether clip. That is like, it takes pretty much like half of your magazine, like half of your time to load your last shell to actually interclip. So yeah, the interclip is kind of huge, but at least you have a lot of time to aim, as this thing gets 3 seconds of aiming time, the same as the its predecessor, the Object 752. Those guys are getting like really huge aiming time, which I believe is a balancing factor. But once again, they are medium tanks. They are Russians. They are meant to be played aggressively, close range, and not redline wanking. The dispersion are pretty much the same as the Object 752, but this thing gets horrific turret reverse. It is like pretty much the same. The dispersion are 0.25 all over the terrain, which is really bad. The Object 752 had, I do believe, 0.11, which is so much better. This thing gets, yeah, gets pretty much like the VZ, yeah, about the VZ114. And as I mentioned in my last video, not a lot of people actually play the 114 because of its horrific gun handling. It was just so bad. This thing is a medium. You do have a lower caliber gun. I mean, I believe it is 100 millimeter, and having like a 130 millimeter gun that is balanced. Statistics, yeah, they don't feel the best, but yes. Actually, no. I forgot that I put the vertical stabilizer on 104. So yeah, that now that makes sense. Now it's pretty balanced indeed. But once again, really bad dispersion. Next to that, the ammo capacity, it's decent. Over this vehicle, you do have a potential damage of under 15,000, which is better. You do have much better mobility at 52 km an hour. The power to weight ratio is over 70, which is really huge for a medium tank. You're actually mobile and can do the job. 5 degrees of gun depression is just not good. As specific Russian tanks, you do have 23 gun elevation, which is fixing the problem at which object 752 had. Next to that, 380-meter view range is just once again really bad, and your commander is actually two loaders and a radio man, so you have a lot of pressure on him. 42 tons. This is like pretty much like a heavy tank. It's just like 5 tons weight less than actually the 752. 1800. That's actually more than the heavy tank itself. Um, but yes, you do have pretty much a solid tier 9 medium tank that should be pretty much like a heavy tank. Let's see about the armor. 250. That's actually upper plate. It's impenetrable. The lower plate starting to get some orange over here, but yeah, the lower plate it's pretty much it's visible. It's kind of small as well. You do have weak points. You do have well, this bar actually is not the best because people can shoot you here and go through, but the turret is solid as mostly of the Russian tank have. This thing over here looks weird as the turret is much bigger than the chassis, so it kind of looks like a leopard by its model, but it's not as accurate as a leopard. But those are two tier 9 upcoming, hopefully premium tanks that are gonna revolutionize the game style. You do have medium tank with auto reloader, reverse auto reloader. We do have an auto loading premium from Russia, which is once again really epic. And tell me guys, what do you think about these brand new vehicles? See you